Hi guys, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the video number 178, and in this video we are going to talk about the Excel dashboards. And I have been receiving a lot of actually questions from a lot of people talking about the dashboards. They have a lot of questions, so I just jot down all those questions, and then 4 or 5 questions I was able to actually able to summarize all those questions. And I think that all of those questions revolve around basically 4 or 5 types of question which I have written. So people want to know that what is the trick behind the dashboards. So what is the trick behind the dashboards means what exactly we do, what are those combinations, the permutations we use in the dashboards. And then there is another question: do we need to be an expert in Excel to create the dashboards? So I would say that if you know the basic Excel, you really can't do much in terms of making your dashboard very awesome, very beautiful, very flexible. With the basic Excel, you really I mean you can make a very basic kind of a dashboard. So yes, one has to be hold a very good knowledge in Excel. So advanced Excel, if you know, then yes, you can create really wonders. Now I'm not going to talk about here the VBA, because VBA is something which can do anything in Excel. So if you know VBA, then I mean your dashboards really you can make awesome dashboards. There is no limit to that, right? But we are going to talk about the advanced Excel only. We are going to make this dashboard in the Excel today, so I will stick to only the Excel part, right? So what functions are mostly used in dashboard? This is also many of you have asked me, right? So you see, basically when you know a lot of formulas, you can write, you have a more options. But generally my experience says that the functions like count family function, where you use the countif, count f's, and then or maybe count blank, count a, and then also the sum family, sum f functions, and then if function, nested if and if, or indirect function. Many of you might have not even heard about this function, but this is a fabulous, the most the dynamic formula I had ever seen in Excel. And if you don't know about this formula, go ahead and watch some videos on the indirect on my channel or on my website, right? I will be sharing all those things with you in just a moment. So mid, right, left, VLOOKUP, error handlers like if is error, if error, and then the index function, beautiful function, offset function. You really can't ignore this. If you want to be expert in Excel, then you're supposed to know the offset function. It can do really wonders in your charts, in your pivots, and otherwise also. We are going to we use this offset function a lot in our dashboards, right? And then data validation to create the drop downs. So anyways, let's just begin now. So these were the questions. I was able to I thought let me just summarize them. I've got a lot of emails. So this is what we are going to do today. Let me come to the the business now, what we are going to do today. So guys, this is the database I have prepared. A very dummy database. It's a kind of a, you can say that hospital database, let's say. So here we have written the patient names with their IDs and the treatment which you're going to have. Let's say the treatment is normal, or they are visiting, the patients are visiting for the advice or for the test or for the surgery. So or maybe for the report, to collect the reports. So I have just written some 4-5 categories here. And then what is the consultation fee, so what exactly they have paid. So and the next visit, which is told to them by the doctors that you're supposed to visit on 1st of August. Like today we are recording this video, it's 21st of July. So let's say I've asked my patients to visit the next time, and I have written the dates here. So how can you prepare a very very meaningful dashboard with the help of which you can see a lot of things, right? Now I'm going to give you a couple of examples on this. Like this is the dashboard which we have prepared. Now if you guys know me through my YouTube channel, then as I always say that I really don't have to introduce you, because this is the video number 178. You can watch all those 177 amazing videos on my YouTube channel. Just go to my channel, and this is where the playlist would come, and you can see here we have a lot of videos according to the subject. We have the videos on VBA connecting Outlook, index, large, small, Excel videos, VBA functions, what if analysis. So you can go there and you can definitely see all the videos. Otherwise, there is my website as well, excelvbalover.com. Go to the tutorial section. If you need the Excel training, go there and check out the content, and if you are looking for the videos, then go there and click that, right? So I'm going to click on the video tutorials, because before I start with this video, I want to tell you one thing, that this is going to be the dashboard we are going to prepare, right? So you will have a very good understanding today, but you can also watch the other my free videos available on this dashboard making. So you want to create the calendar, meeting planner. This is also one of my subscribers, long time back, he has asked me. So watch all these videos, series 3, series 4, series 2, series 4, series 1. So they are all in a very sequence, right? So this further to this, if you don't know anything about the dashboards, maybe you would like to watch the video number 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4, right? So that's something which I leave it to you. But today what we are going to do is right away discuss that thing. So here, being a doctor, what I did is, so let's say being a doctor, maybe I'm handling I'm the administrator, and I work in a hospital, let's say. So I want to know a couple of things. I want to keep a couple of things very handy, so that I can always let my management know. For example, what if you want to see that under which treatment, how many patients basically so far have been visited to your hospital, and what is the consultation fee, the total amount they have actually paid. So if you select here, let's say the report, so on the report I have only got one patient visited and the amount paid is 2300. So if you go back to the data, let's see here on the treatment of the report how many customers we have got. So one is this, and the another one is, I don't think so there is any other customer, and the consultation fee is 2300, and this is what you are getting here, right? So if I change this to, let's say, normal, so in the normal I have 9 patients visited so far, and the amount is 11,700 rupees. That's my currency, my country's currency, but you can always format it to the dollar or whatever currency, right? That's not really a tough task. It's very simple, right? So in the normal category you have 9. Let's quickly check. So that's the one, Kishore, Ajay, and then we have Michael, then we have Kia, Amit. So we can count them. Let's count them: 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, and this is 8, and this is 9, right? At the same time, you can also sum these values, the consultation fee, the business the hospital got in from these. So I'm going to write this, select this, and select this. So what is the total amount? It's 11,700. Is it the one which is coming? Let me quickly check. Yes, 11,701. So you see, this is what we have actually done. So a lot of things you can further do it, and the formula which I have used is a very simple Countif function, sum of functions. You must be aware of it, but anyways we will start it. And here comes the appointment for the day. That's a very interesting and very important thing. So now you know that patients are supposed to meet me, let's say, or maybe patients are supposed to meet at the reception on these dates. Being an admin, I should be knowing that how many patients are going to visit on this date. So I can make the arrangements. I can see that the doctor should be available on this time. If I'm going to have a long queue, and if I don't have a patient on that day, then that's fine, right? Then I can let my doctor or the staff know that I can give them the leaves. I can send them on the I can tell them if they have any plans, they want to go vacation, they want to have a leave, then they can take the off. So now you see here what I have done is I have written only basically 3 or 4 dates. One is the 1st August, 2nd August, and 3rd of August. So let's say what I want to do is so just today is, let's say, 31st of July, and we are going to see that what would be the next day, the list. So I'm going to write here the 1st of August. This is the date. The moment I write it, you see the list automatically get changes, right? And in this list, if you see, I got in the numbers as well. Your patients for the day expected are 6, and these are your patients. So what if I don't want to see their names? So let me just click here, no, and the list will be removed, right? So how about checking this for the 2nd of August? So what is my count on the 2nd of August? Let me press enter, and there you see the 6 number is now changed to the 8. So we are saying that now your patient for the day expected are 8, right? Am I interested in knowing their name? What if I want to ensure that there is a person named ABC, and he's very critical, and I should not miss on him, right? So before I plan my leave or the day, I want to see that whether he's coming or not. So maybe let's say I click on the yes, and I can see the names there, right? So let's say that's the person, Ria, right? That's a very important person, so I should not miss this day. I should definitely be there, right? So this is what you can do. So how about, let's say, the 4th of August? So on the 4th of August, I don't have any list. I don't have any patients, right? So that means I can take a leave, whatever. I'm just trying to tell you the idea behind this, and you see that there is no list actually available here for the 4th of August. So this is the kind of a dashboard we are going to make today, and I'll try to make it as interesting as I always say that, this is basically, that's the main idea behind my all videos, that you can learn Excel more and more, as we move ahead with every video. So let's start this. Let's just first go in this sheet. So I'm going to tell you a couple of things that what we are going to do. We are going to use the if error. We are going to use the if function. Let's see if we're going to use the if function, then we're going to use the indirect function. As I was talking, that this is the most powerful function. Really, it's very, very important. You should know that function. If you don't know it, go to the channel, and you would get here the videos on the indirect function. Also, just scroll it up or maybe down and see that where is the indirect category, and you would be able to see that video somewhere, right? So yeah, there we go. So you have the indirect function. You can see all these videos, and you can on my website also you would be able to see that playlist called the indirect function, right? So this is the one of the another function which we're going to plug in. And what else? We're going to use the Countif, we're going to use the SUMIF functions, and let's see how we and yes, of course we will also see the data validation, right? Okay, so let's start it now. So the first part which we have covered is the treatment, normal, and number of patients. So let me just copy this here. These are just the headers. Okay, so I've copied everything here. Now what I want to do is, if you look at the summary sheet here, I have created a list drop down this. Now you would ask me how you have created it. Just in case if you know, then it's very easy. In case if you don't know, then what we can do is you have to copy them somewhere. Write those all categories. So I'm going to quickly go to my data, which is this, and I'm going to just copy this list and I'm going to paste it here. Let's say here, right? Now we are going the data, and we will remove all the duplicates because we don't need the duplicates. We just need the one item. So this is how I can remove duplicate. If you don't know how to remove the duplicates, then this is a new option for you. This is the extra the knowledge which you have gotten today through this video. Go in the data and remove the duplicate. Click on the remove duplicate, and this is what you will see. If your data has headers, keep a check mark there. If your data does not have headers, which means that from the top to bottom it should include all the values, just click OK, and the values will be deleted. The repetition will be deleted, right? Now once I have gotten all these categories, then what you need to do is you need to go to the data, go to the data validation. In the data validation, I'm going to select this list, and in the list I'm going to select all these values. All right, so there we go. We created the drop down. You can see whatever user wants to select, I can he can select it. Then now you can further go ahead and customize it, like you can increase the column width, and then you can further give it a good font and the color. I will be very quick on that because that's something everybody has its own creativity. For me might be this combination looks better, but for you it may not look good, so that's fine, right? We are not here to discuss about the creativity part. That I leave it to you. You can decide it. But what we want is we want how the technically this dashboard is going to work. Okay, so I got in here. This is the advice, and under this advice now category, I want to see how many patients so far we have visited, we have gotten in our hospital, right? So in the let me hide this first. This is not required. So in this case, under the normal category, we're just going to use the Countif function. We want to count, because Countif means what? Countif means that to count something, to count a value on one criteria, right? This is what exactly the Countif function is. So what we want to do is we want to count how many times we have got advice there. So I'll simply use the Countif function. This is what it talks about, the range and the criteria. So what is your range? You are supposed to give the range. So for me, this is going to be my range, because here I've got all the treatment categories. And then what is going to be my the count which I want to count, the criteria. So what I will do is I will write here, I will select here this alphabet called F2. Just remove the sheet name, it is not required because you are already on the sheet 2. So this is what you will get. Okay, so you got in the value called 6 and that's your answer. So now if you change anything here, let's say surgery, you would see that we have got 2 patients for the surgery so far. If you go the test, then you have got 4 values. So let's quickly check here. Here also we are going to make it, let's say advice. So we have got 6 people. Let's make it here as the advice. So we got the 6 people, right? So the first part is done. So we have used just a range and the criteria which I want to calculate, which I want to count actually, right? And so what I want to count, whatever the value I have gotten in F2, my user is what my user is going to select from this drop down. Okay, so now what is the total expenditure? What is the total amount have been paid under this category by the patients? So how you gonna do that? You will use the sum F function. A lot of you have asked me time to time that where exactly we use the sum F function, so this is the best example. In the dashboards also you can use it. So what we are going to do, range, criteria and sum range. So what is going to be my range? That's what first thing I need to select. So obviously my range is going to be my category, the treatment. So this is going to be my range. In this category, what I want to select, what I want to put in as a criteria, advice, and then from the advice cells, what exactly I want to look, what exactly I want to sum, that would go in the sum range. So what I want is, I want these consultation fee table to be summed up. So what will happen then, I'll tell you. So basically here Excel will check that where exactly in this range we have got this, the advice which user has selected, and then it will make all those data, it will make this true. For example, this is going to be true. Let me just write T for this, and then you will have here one more T, and then T, and T means true, right? So all this advice will be filtered in the background, you will not see that, and then against those T, what we want to sum up, those numbers will be picked up. So here I'm going to pick 900, then 1300, and then 1500, and so on. And as a result, you will get the sum of those consultation fee column values. So this is what we have gotten, 8600, right? So so let's see if we are correct or not. So yeah, exactly, we are correct, right? So what I've done is I simply right click here and I go to the format cells, and in the currency part I'm going to choose whatever I want. If you want to, let's say, make it dollar, you can keep it like this as well, right? So this is what the total amount is coming. You can color them, you can align them in the center, whatever you want to do. So that's something you can do it. So this is the first part we have covered. So we have used Countif and SumIf, very simple, right? Now what is the next thing? The next thing is we wanted to see that my appointments for the day. So my appointments for the day, you can go in this insert, and you can insert these shapes or whatever way suits you. Let me just copy this quickly and put it here in the sheet. Let's say I'm going to put it here only, right? So my appointments for the day. Now for my appointment for the day, I'm going to write my date here, let's say on this part. Okay, so whatever the date I will select here, I should be able to see the names here with their serial number. Now this is the most important part. So here I'm going to write his serial number, and here I'm going to write the patient name, right? And this is where we would like to see all those names coming. Now how to go about it? So first thing is that you need to find out where exactly for that day. Let's say this is the date, 1st August. Let me just write here the 1st August. So I want to see that for this date in my database, where exactly I've got all those customers, my patients, right? So if you look at this sheet, let me just unhide it. Now here, look at the formula. These are the formulas basically which I have written here. Now let me tell you what exactly we have done here, right? So the first thing which you need to do is I will start it from the scratch, let me delete everything here. Let's just delete this as well. The first thing I want to do is I want to put the check. If the next visit date is equals to the date which I'm looking here, this one, okay, then what should happen? Then I should be able to get that value, the row number of that value, which means that I want to get this value, the name. So I'm going to write here the name, okay. Otherwise it should give me a space. I have used a simple if function. If you look at this, so we are simply saying that if this next visit date is going to be equals to the date which I'm looking forward to, which I'm using here, then I want to capture the name of the patient, right? Otherwise it should give me the space. So what will happen if I change this date to, let's say, 2nd of August. Now if I come back on this data, you see I'm saying here blank entry. Now the name is not coming, obviously, because this first is not equals to this 2nd of August, right? It's simple. Let me undo this, just keep it 1st August. Let's go back in the data. So here now what you need to do is, because your comparison should always happen with the sheet 1 E14 cell where you're entering the date, it should be freezed completely. So I'm gonna put the dollars here, okay. Now let us just drag this. Alright, so we got the names, and as expected we got the list of all the candidates, we got the list of people who are going to visit us, and this is what exactly is showing, right? So let me change the date also first. So let's just hide this for the time being. Okay, so I'm going to put it here 2nd. Now let's see. Wow, wonderful. Now the 2nd August is coming here. So if I, let's say, override this 3rd August with the 2nd, will I be getting the name? Yes, we are getting the name as well, right? It's wonderful. So we got in the names. Now how to club these names, how to collect these names and put it here one by one. That's the task now. That's the important thing. You need to collect them and put it just below each other, because they are all in the random directions, right? So we need to club them. So in order to club them, we are now in the next step here. We are going to check their row number. So I'm going to use this function. If this value is equals to blank, okay, if you are blank, then let's keep it blank. Otherwise we are going to capture the row number of that cell. So this is the row function. Row function returns the row of the current cell. So if I drag it down, this is what you will see, right? So this is what I will see. Now Michael is on the 8th row, this is on the 9th row, 10th row, and this name is on the 19th row, and this is on the 23rd row. So I'm able to find out their row numbers. Now why I'm actually interested in getting the row numbers, because I'm now going to use the indirect function. When you use the indirect function, you can go to any cell giving the cell address. Okay, for example, if I write here A1 and I want to get the A1 value, which is date consultation, right? So let me just give it a good format. Yeah, so without going to the A1, if I ask you get me the date consultation value, I know many of you would say that equals to A1, but what if I don't want to go to the A1? So then I can use also the indirectly go to the I1. In the I1, indirect finds out the A1 address and it goes in the A1 and it picks up the value. So this is the concept we are going to use. So we are going to form the cell address. So here I have used the if and row function, or maybe I can say we are capturing here the row number. Here we are capturing the names, just to give you the clarity on this. Now what is the next thing I want to do? Now I want to actually get these numbers all together. Okay, so I will collect them here. So what I'm going to do is, here in this table I'm going to use the small function. This is a very important step. So in small function means I want the smallest number here. So what is the smallest number here? This is the small function. I have used it a lot of times in all those videos. If you know me, as I was telling you that if this channel is not new to you, I'm sure you won't take it even a second to grasp what I'm talking about. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the smallest number in this, which is going to be obviously 8, and then again I will freeze this table. Let me just quickly freeze the table, and now let us just drag this, and this time we are looking for the smallest number. Okay, then further copy this, copy this, copy this, and here we're going to write 3, and here we're going to write 4. So basically what we are doing is we are trying to get all these numbers in a sequence: 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19, 23 by using the small function. First we are saying give me the first smallest number in this table. Obviously you would get 8. Then we are saying get me the second smallest number, third smallest number. So you will end up having this sequence, right? But obviously not a good idea to write these parameters 1, 2, 3, 4 manually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply write here row function, because I'm on the row number 1 right now. You can see that, right? Row, if I write here row function like this and I drag it, this function, this keeps on telling me, keeps on giving me the row of the current cell. So that is what I'm going to use in this function. So now you will have a long list of all these functions, all these we will have all these numbers in a sequence. That's the important thing which we need to do. So now you can see here I've got in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 19, 23 and then of course the error. We don't need the error, so I'm going to write here, if you are the error, then just simply give us the space. So I'm going to use if error, so just drag it down, and there we go. So we got all the values here. Now look at this, the magic. I'm going to copy this 2nd of August and gonna put here. Wow, can you see that the name also appeared and the row number also appeared, and this already adjusted itself. Now you're getting 3 as well on the top. So how about changing this, the top position, Kishore, also to 2nd of August. Look at this. So if you're going to make this entire thing 2nd of August, see what will happen. We will have all the values. Let's just change this as well. These entries, change them to 2nd August. There we go, guys, right? So you will end up having all the list. We will have all the numbers, and this is what we need, right? So let me quickly undo it. Yeah. So now we got in the row numbers. Now the next step is we need to find out on which cell we have our name. Row number is already available. It's on the 2nd row, it's on the 3rd row, and thereafter it's on the 8th row, which is Michael. But how to collect that, because I'm on the C8, so I will simply here write C in the quotes, and I will concatenate it with this, and then I will drag it. There we go, right? So C2, C3, these are the cells where my values are laying actually, right? So obviously this is C because there is no row here. So you can further go ahead, I can write the if function, that if this value is equals to blank, then this should be blank, else this is going to be C concatenate K1. There we go. Now let me drag this, copy and paste it again. So we got the address. Now once we got the address, what is the next thing I'm going to do? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm simply going to use the indirect function here. Indirect, where to go? Go to this cell, which is L1. In the L1, what is the value? There is an address called C2, and in the C2 what we have gotten? We have got the name, which is this Kishore. So I will simply drag this, and let's see. There we go. We got the names. Here we don't have any cell. Here we have it blank. So obviously you will get the error because indirect works on the cell addresses. So you can write here if error. If there is no value coming out, then just give us the error. Just give us the space. There we go. So now we are able to get all the names. Very nice. And what is the next thing now you need to do? Just come here and use equals to sign and just use this, and you need to drag this down, drag it down like this. Okay, and further drag it down, so you have all the names coming. You can give the extra buffer as well. And so we got the patient name, and what is the next thing now we want to do? We need to create the serial names. So I'm going to write here, if the name is not empty, then what we want to do, then this should come as 1, otherwise space. So you got the 1. In the next, again you write a function, if you are not empty, then please add 1 to this value, to this k, D17, so that it should be the second serial number, otherwise space. So now I will drag this. There we go. So you got the serial numbers, you got the patient numbers, and serial numbers means patient numbers. Now let us see how we are going to do this if I change this to first. So I'm going to change this to first. Look at this, the name list is changing. It's looking wonderful, right? Because here the names are changed. So let me just repeat it, what we did exactly. I know it's going to be, if you don't know the indirect functions, and if you're not so expert in the Excel, I'm sure this video will be a little difficult, but then you can watch it again. And let me summarize the things. So idea is, I want to see my list for the day. So I'm saying that if the date I write here, if that date is equals to this date, then get that name available. This is what, for this we have written the if function. So we are comparing all these dates on every cell here in this column, right, with the date called this. And if the date is equals to this, then we are trying to get the name from here. So we have got all these names available. Now once we got the names, in the next formula what we did is we captured the row number, because ultimately my job is to find out on which cell address I have patient names. For example, I have on the whether the name which I'm looking forward to for that date is available on the C2 or C3, C4, C5, C6. So that's why I collected there, I retrieved their information using the if function. So I'm saying that if you are blank, which means if there is no name, then keep it space, otherwise capture the row number of that cell. So that is why you see Aman is on the row number 4, and that's why I'm saying that this row function is going to give me the row number 4. So in this way I have got to know all the row numbers where my basically the name is there available. So then what I did is, because these numbers can be scattered. For example, if I write here 1st of August, then you would get these values like this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, and then 14 and 20. So there are a lot of blank spaces. You need to remove those blank spaces, only then you will be able to make a sequence of those names. So that's why we use the smallest function here. So we said that in this list, in this cell called K2, first get me the first smallest number, then second smallest number, third smallest, fourth smallest, fifth smallest, then sixth smallest, seventh smallest, and so on, right? So you will end up having all these numbers in a sequence. After 20, there is no number. That's why we use the if error, because small function will give the error. When the small function is going to work here, this row parameter, which is I have written in the K, this row will return 6, because I'm on the 6th row, right? So you see that the total values which I have written, it's going to give me the 7th value, because I'm on the 7th row. This is the 7th row. So there is no 7th smallest number here, because you have only 6 numbers. You can count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So 7th will give me the error. If it is the error, then we are saying that means there is no number, there is no extra name. So just keep it space. So then we all know that the names are available in the C column. We are able to get their row numbers in a sequence, so we just concatenated it with the C. So we are saying that if you are not space, then please give us the cell address. So you can see that in the C4, C5, C6, C7, and C14 and C20, ideally in this table, this is where our names are actually laying available, right? So that's why we use the indirect function here, because when I say that go in the L1 indirect, so in the L1 it finds C4, then I drag it down, the indirect L1 changes to L2. In the L2 you have a C5, and then you have a C6, C7. So ideally what we are doing is we are only telling indirect function to go to these cells and collect the name from there, retrieve the name from there, get the information there, and this is how we are getting these names there, right? So later you can obviously, you can format the things and you can make this sheet like this, all the formatting of the border you can give. And one thing I have added here as well, that if you want to see the list or not, so that is also something you can do. For example, here in the drop down, go to the data and click on this data validation, and in the list just write here yes and no, just press OK. So the drop down is created. So now what we want to do is we simply want to write here, if this value is going to be no, then no name should come, otherwise the name should come, the same data in the data sheet, the M1 value should come. That's very simple, right? So just drag this. Before dragging it, please ensure that this should be frozen, this H14. So now will drag this. So if I change this to no, now what will happen? You will not see the list. Okay, so if I change this to 2, and if you say that yes, I want to see the list, you will get the people name there, right? Similarly for the count, guys, as you see that I'm getting here, this your patient for the day expected is. So what I did is, it's very simple again. You can do it in this way. You can somewhere here in the background where user will not see, you can count these values. Okay, so what you can do is, you can say that Countif, go in the range of the data, select this next visit. Now what you want to count? You want to count that how many times this 2nd of August is coming in the data, right? So you get the 10. Now here in this you can write this is a string, we are going to write number of patients coming today, and then just concatenate it with this number, and there we go, right? So give it a good font. Maybe you can choose Arial Black as well, right? This is the one you can choose, and remove the grid lines. This is something you can do yourself, how to give the colors and the borders. So now whenever you change the date, the number will change. So you have got the 6 patients and 6 numbers are coming here. If you're not interested in seeing their names, you can see it, you can click it no here. So this is what exactly we have done here in this, right? So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and this is the another video in an attempt to make you comfortable, to let you learn that how actually we prepare the dashboards. I know this is not a complete dashboard, this is really not that awesome dashboard, but I think I just wanted to actually give you kind of a vision on that. Later on in the coming sessions also, we will be working on the really very superb dashboards. But I'm sure what you have learned today is you have seen so many formulas together: indirect, if function, and then if error, and if functions, Countif, sum if. So you see, this is how you design all the things. Especially if you look at the data here, we have designed all the things, and now we are gonna hide everything so that user should not see this. User doesn't have to see all this, right? In fact, you can even hide this data sheet and just keep it the summary here. That's it, right? So that's the end of the video number 178. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I hope after watching this video you will definitely subscribe. And as I said, there are a lot of videos on Excel and VBA. Just go and watch it and enjoy your learning. Thank you so much. I'll come up with some more exciting stuff very soon. Till then, take care guys, stay fit, and have a very happy learning. Take care.